Wake up, Albany. I'm John Diaz.
I'm Amanda Baskine.
I'm Nelson Eusebio.
I'm Sasson.
And today's actually February 2nd, Groundhog Day.
And the groundhog saw its shadow.
So 6 more weeks of winter.
That's
Feels
fun.
like it's gonna be like 4 months.
And it all, yeah, especially in Albany.
I know, right?
Definitely.
Especially with snow tomorrow.
Yeah, it's actually supposed to be a blizzard tomorrow, about an inch or two. I think we'll be ready for that.
Yeah, 40-mile-per-hour winds.
On Wednesday. Yeah.
Oh, on Wednesday. There you go. But first up in the news is the Super Bowl. The Steelers won 27-23 against the Cardinals yesterday. I'm sure you guys already know that.
It was a crazy game actually. I mean, just to watch it, the whole time I was on my seat, the edge of my seat watching the entire game. I mean, I thought it was gonna actually be a blowout for the Steelers.
Yeah.
Which everybody else did, but it turned out to be a really good game.
I just felt bad for Kurt Warner. He's retiring, and he should have won, and they should just give it to him.
But like Holmes, like cash was like a reminiscence of versus cash like last year.
Yeah.
It was awesome. So
It was really good.
The last 35 seconds were just, it made the game. It was worth watching,
Yeah.
like just for the last 35
But it was surprising how like the Cardinals caught out to the Steelers.
I know,
Yeah,
I know, because you thought, you're
was
like, alright,
awesome.
this game's over. Let's change the
Like
channel.
everybody was giving up too. Like my brother was rooting for the Cardinals, was like giving up, and then all of a sudden, you know, the Cardinals ahead, and then the last couple of minutes, well, the Steelers
I
got
went to
it.
take
Yeah.
a shower and I came back to a million text messages like, you gotta watch, the Cardinals just came back, and I was like, of course when I go to take a
Yeah,
shower,
we miss
it
it.
happens. So.
It was so sweet.
The funny thing about that actually was everybody was really loud during the game, but every time the commercials come on, the whole room would be quiet.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody
It's
was
like, shh, shh, and get away for it. But the commercials weren't really that great.
No, they really
I don't
weren't.
remember. I remember one of the car going up the thing with the fire, but that's it. I don't even remember
Oh,
what it was
yeah, it was
for,
for, like, Ford
when
or
it was.
something.
They just
Yeah.
weren't memorable.
The only funny commercial I think was the first one. And they had the Miller Lite, and everybody was at the meeting. So they all had a meeting, and they were looking at the expenses for the
No,
year.
it was Bud Light. I
It was
think.
Bud Light?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then they
it was
threw the
Miller
guy
Lite.
out the
Just threw
window.
the guy out.
Yeah.
And the baby commercials.
The
Always
baby
get me.
There were
commercials
so
were
many
so
of them.
cute.
Yeah, there
But there was like
There
a
were
lot
so
of them
many
too.
of
Yeah.
them.
It was funny.
And the halftime show, I think everyone was a little. It was alright. Mixed.
I was-
Springsteen.
I feel like it catered to the older crowd.
It did.
Yeah,
I feel
like there was definitely better ones.
Yeah.
Well, they have to. I guess they have to be careful now with Janet Jackson.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's a little.
that happened 3
Like,
years
woo.
ago. You think you get over that by now.
Did you actually catch when he went sliding across
Yeah, I
the
was
stage
just
though?
to say, one of these, that was not supposed to
I
happen.
thought he was gonna keep going. I didn't know what was gonna happen.
That would've been
I
really
couldn't believe what he was doing up there. Like at one point when he went down, we thought it was gonna take him like the whole duration of what he was gonna sing to get back up. Like
He's pretty old now.
Yeah.
Is he like 50?
I don't know how. Like
I think
he
it's
did it.
59
Like
actually.
kept
Really?
going down,
Yes.
getting up, going
I think
down,
I
and getting
heard
up.
that,
And I was just
59.
like,
they've been asking him to do this for 34 years since the 1975 Super Bowl. So this was like a big thing, I guess, that he
I wonder what
finally
made
decided
him.
to perform.
Well, he decided to do what I heard is because he actually has a new CD coming out. So
Oh, so he wants to
Probably
promote
why.
it?
he wanted to promote it. So everybody that likes the Street Band, get ready. Bruce Springsteen CD's coming out soon.
My parents will be happy.
more like a grandparents, but hey. Okay.
And I'm jealous of the kids in Pittsburgh because everyone had a 2-hour delay for
I know.
school. So
2-hour delay for Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's
But it's
crazy.
okay. We had Wednesday off. The whole
We
game.
didn't get off on the Giants one last year.
That's
though.
true. We should have had a
We're in
2-hour
New York.
delay.
That's true.
It was really funny. Time further into sports. I actually saw over the weekend that Shea Stadium is closing down. Saturday was the last day to see it.
Yeah.
A lot of
That's
New Yorkers are upset, supposedly.
And now we were saying that they're selling even down to the toilet seats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the toilet
That's
seats.
crazy.
You guys need a new toilet seat. Check out Shea Stadium.
eBay.
Go to
I
eBay.
bet you it's gonna be on eBay too,
Yeah.
and like it's gonna be up for like to see how like far it goes.
It's a sad moment. There's a couple of happy memories. It's not exactly Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, I
but,
know.
But still, it's like
A lot
you're
of
used
people
to
are
being there. Like
sentimental.
I'm from Queens, like I like see it every time you get on the Grand Central. Like
Yeah.
every time you see it, you pass it, it's like always there. And
Well,
it's
that'll
like
be a
gonna
parking
weird.
lot. It'll still be there,
Yeah.
but on the
Yeah.
parking
It's the
lot.
parking
Oh,
lot.
look at all
But
those cars that they
That
used to
new
be the Shea
stadium, that new
Stadium.
stadium they have, it's beautiful.
You
There's
seen
a lot of
it?
people- every time I drive by, I see the new stadium. It's gonna make Shea Stadium
Yeah.
look. Nobody's really gonna miss it after they see the new stadium. I think.
Hey, I'm still gonna miss it. What are you talking about?
It was real interesting. Going further into Queens, actually, I'm sure everybody heard about LaGuardia, the actual plane accident that happened.
The Hudson.
The Hudson
Yeah,
accident.
the
That was a
US
very unfortunate
Airways.
story. But an interesting take on that, they're going to actually try to change things up. They're going to actually start having falcons on the runways, actual falcons, the birds, chasing off all the birds now. It's something that's been going on all throughout the world. JFK actually has been using it for about a decade, but LaGuardia is actually going to start using it for the first time. And I think it's great that they're not using all this technology now.
Yeah,
they're not going to have
using-
robots or anything like that. They're actually going to have birds. It's
How do
really
Birds
intriguing.
defending other birds. How are they gonna train
Yeah,
the
how do
falcon?
you do that?
It's actually an art that's come on since the medieval times. It's called falconry, in which a guy trains a falcon to chase off whatever he wants or get food.
Is that a movie, Falcon? Right?
I think they
that's a
might
movie.
have a movie about it.
Yeah.
So the guy's actually from Zimbabwe or something. So he's coming
Oh
over
wow.
to have falcons chase off pigeons.
Zimbabwe?
Yeah,
Wow.
Zimbabwe the guy's from. So it's gonna be
Wow, high
actually
demand.
yeah, it says 43 from Zimbabwe. So that's actually real good. I think it's interesting. Hopefully it'll prevent anything from happening later on.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm excited for that.
And also, Michael Phelps, we have some news on that, right?
Yeah, a British newspaper published a picture of Michael Phelps over the weekend smoking a marijuana pipe, as they called it.
Michael Phelps, the
Bet
hero
you he
for
denies
many.
it. He's probably gonna say it's not marijuana.
No, he admitted to doing it, that he apologized to his fans, said that he acted in a childish way, and this is only 5 years after he was caught driving under the influence and was on probation for a year and a half.
That's crazy.
He's
Really,
one
I
role
mean,
model.
Yeah, right?
The crazy part about that is it kind of for most people you kind of forget that they're actual people. They make mistakes too. I mean, everybody looks at these celebrities like they're gods and they're normal people. They make mistakes, and I mean, it kind of makes me feel like okay, he's not that
Yeah,
different.
but when you're
from
gonna be
us.
Michael Phelps and be the
And like a role
yeah,
model
role
for
model,
us.
you
It's
have
true.
to have
It's
that
He kind of
for
he's
that.
on the cheese box. There's
Yeah.
like cutouts of him everywhere. Like kids look up to him.
Yeah.
It's just
But like talking about like celebrities and like watching them like, you know, we make such a big deal about them. Jessica Simpson gained a lot of weight and everybody's been making a big deal out of it. Like, you know, she shouldn't be curvier now, she shouldn't have so much weight. And like everyone's still talking about it.
That's just
And
crazy,
if
yeah.
it was someone regular, like everyday person, we probably wouldn't even make a big deal about it. Like we have our economy, which is like we're still in recession, and at the same time, like we're making a big deal about someone gaining a little weight, and like she's perfectly happy doing it.
she was all over TV this weekend. Like
Yeah, I
with
think
the pants that
everybody's-
went up to her waist.
Yeah, like
saying
everybody's
she's wearing
talking
mommy
about it.
jeans and stuff. But
But it's
Really?
like,
yeah.
The upsetting part about that, I actually heard that Ashley Simpson, her little sister, was actually upset about it.
yeah, she defended
She
her like
was-
on MySpace blog or something
Yeah.
like that. I
I
read
mean,
about it.
what's the big deal? Let her gain some weight.
Yeah, she's normal. She's
a
like,
person.
yeah,
She's
she
a
can,
normal
yeah,
woman.
like
She's a
she's a normal
person.
person. She can gain
Just
some
because
weight.
she's famous. we make a big
I
deal
mean,
out of it.
she's still beautiful.
I'll date her.
Right?
I'll date her any day of the week. I have no problem with that.
In other news, though, celebrity news, an American Idol, one of the contestants, Mark Mudd, he was rejected on American Idol, and he said to them, "Take care and be careful," to Simon Cowell and Paula Abdul. And Paula Abdul and Simon Cowell took it as a threat. And Paula said, "You don't say that to people. You don't say take care and be careful to people." And like, who does she think she is that
Guys.
you're not allowed to say that to her?
Next time you wish someone very well, like meaning like wishes, be careful. They might take it
Yeah.
the wrong way.
So she's, I don't know, they said it was out of the normal thing to say, but it turns out that in the regional, it was a regional parting, like part of
Yeah.
saying goodbye. So I guess everyone in that area, in Kentucky it was, says, take care and be careful. So,
I don't know if
That's
it's just me, but I feel like Paula Abdul has a new issue every other season, if not every other season, every other week.
Didn't she
Yes.
like a couple of episodes back? Didn't she walk out?
She
felt
did.
like she
Yeah.
wasn't being heard.
She's
because of the new
such
judge.
a drama queen. I
Yeah.
guess
Yeah,
you
she
could say.
loves just like being a crybaby.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I saw the
True.
footage and I was just
Yeah.
like, I don't see why you walked out. Like I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Like right before that, she like acted all friendly with the new judge, and then 2 seconds later she walks out, and I'm just like, wait, what happened?
Why is there a new judge this season?
They did. They said they wanted to switch it up.
Are they
Sorry,
replacing her? Are they
They're
No,
probably
I
going to
don't think
replace
Paula?
one.
They might, but I heard that people were tired of seeing the same three people.
Yeah, like I mean, you
Yeah.
know how they're gonna judge everyone and say like, you know what they're
That's true.
exactly going
It's
to
like,
say,
what, the
so
12th
it's
season?
kind of-
They
How many
make the
seasons
show
is
It's like
it?
the
up. They
50th
really
season
do.
by
Is it
now.
the fifth?
I lost
50th,
count.
I
Or
don't
like
know.
the
Yeah, I don't
the
even
sixth
know.
or the seventh. I lost count.
I don't know.
It's
I
too
feel
long.
like it's repetitive, and you don't really see them. You see them for a couple of songs on TV, and that's it. They disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not much of an idol for me. But I actually heard tying into American Idol, Simon Cowell in Europe, he has the equivalent of American Idol. It's called X Factor.
Okay.
And they were saying the last year's winner, she won in December. I think her name is Alexandra Burke. She actually won, and she's a huge fan of Chris Brown. It
Okay.
turns out that she's publicly said, I have a huge crush on Chris Brown.
Oh, now Rihanna
So
feels.
Chris
Wow.
Brown, Chris Brown was actually doing a concert over in England this past week, and Rihanna actually had it so that she was banned from going to the concert.
Yeah.
They would not let her into the concert
She's
because
jealous.
Rihanna
Little
doesn't want
jealous.
anyone
Rihanna's
to
jealous.
She's jealous. I found that funny.
That's
That's
really
amazing.
funny. She's Rihanna. Why
Shit.
That
would
just
you be
shows
jealous?
that they celebrities are real people.
Yeah.
The
They're
Jessica
real
Simpson
people.
thing, yeah.
Poor Chris Brown. He's,
He was
Yeah,
just like,
poor
what is
guy.
this God?
Jealous girlfriend and all.
oh man, it was funny. But celebrities are all over the place, as we know. It's actually they have birthdays too, guys. Believe it or not, they have birthdays.
What celebrity
This
birthday?
week, what do we have? Today's the 2nd. Shakira, it's her 32nd birthday. Happy birthday,
No
to
way.
Shakira.
Wait, how old is she?
32. She looks like she's
Like
21,
it.
but
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
32.
She looks our age, yeah.
I had
Coming
to
up,
lie.
coming up
Shakira,
along with that.
32.
I wish I had a like it was 32.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
For the girls, the 2nd is actually Ashton Kutcher's birthday. That's something exciting. He's turning 31.
31.
He
How
looks
old's
like
Demi Moore?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you.
She's
She's
like
like
50.
30 years older. She's much older.
Chris Rock, along with that, is turning 44. Chris Rock, he's been
Yeah.
around for a while. I
Yeah.
remember when he first came out in the 80s.
Yeah.
My friend
Somehow.
used to babysit his kid, and she like went to his house.
Did he pay well?
I don't know. I assume.
Probably.
She got so
I would
started.
hope
She
so.
would go there.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, come on, you have to.
Oh man, that's the big guys. I mean, Oscar de la Hoya. Anybody that likes boxing, he's coming up on the 4th, so happy birthday to him. And happy birthday to everybody else on campus who has a birthday coming out, right? I mean, you guys have
Happy
birthdays
birthday.
too. Happy birthday, everybody.
We were talking about Queens earlier, and we actually have a story where a drunken driver stole a late model Kia from Middle Village and ended up hitting 2 young men. One of them's name was 16 years old, the other one was 20, Robert Ogle and Alex Paul. Both of them died, actually. One of them died at the scene. He was arrested and charged with driving while intoxicated, vehicular manslaughter, manslaughter assault, because, I mean, one of them didn't die until they got to the hospital, and leaving the scene of an accident, grand larceny, and driving without a license.
Jeez.
I mean, like, one of the kids, 16-year-old, he went to Brooklyn Tech. My brother went to Brooklyn Tech. I mean, like, you have to pass a test to get into the school. Like, everybody makes a big deal. It's one of the top 3 schools in the whole city.
Uh-huh.
He was in football, like...
So he's not a stupid kid. It's not like he's
yeah,
like a bright
he's
kid.
just a
He's
good
just
kid.
yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, he was just out with his friend. He wasn't even that late on Saturday night, and, like...
But that just shows you that like one mistake.
Yeah,
could
like,
lead to-
you should really think twice before you decide to drive and
Yeah.
drinking. Like, it's a big deal. It influences other people's lives as well as yours.
There's never an excuse for that. I don't understand how people even think about doing things like that. Actually, over the weekend, a funny story for me was a friend of mine who was actually drinking downtown. A lot of people do that. But he called me up and he said, can you come downtown and drive my car uptown? And
Oh,
I
that's-
said,
that's-
As long
that's
as you want to
responsible.
drive, I'll take the initiative. So what happens? I come driving up, and sad to say, I actually got pulled over by a cop. But he said I was out speeding. I was actually driving manual. I'm not too big on driving manual.
Yeah.
I'm not as good at it too well. So I had to drive this car, which was manual.
Yeah.
And I let the cop know, I'm not too good at manual. My friend was drinking early. I didn't want him to drive.
Did
And
give you a pat on
the
the
cop
back?
actually said, you know what, I'm going to let you off with a warning.
Yeah.
I'm happy that you're doing things like that. And it goes to show you, I mean, cops actually do help out sometimes. It's an initiative, they helped out. I was happy, It actually
You
put a
have to
little
be
bit of a smile
careful
on my face.
down in Albany with all those cops and
It's
stuff.
true,
They're
right?
just like
Especially
speeding.
at night.
Yeah,
They're
everywhere.
everywhere. I mean, it's a good thing. They're
No,
patrolling.
No, it's
but
definitely
Big ups to the
good.
cops.
Yeah.
You guys are doing
Yeah.
your job real well.
Like
But,
last year for Kegs and Eggs, I was speeding from all my friends, and I technically haven't taken my road test yet, but I've been driving for a while now. And we actually ended up getting pulled over by the stop sign right by Dutch because one of the brake lights was broken in her car. Like, it wasn't something I did, it was just the car, the brake light was out. And like, when he pulled over, like, I explained, like, I'm cheating for everyone else. Like, everyone in the car was like 21 over and like drunken, and like, even though I was 17, and I think I was 18 by then, or 19, something like that. But like, like, I only had my permit, and he still like let me go without a
Yeah, because
warning
you're
or
being
anything.
responsible. You're a
Like,
family
he
driver.
appreciated, like,
Yeah.
he told everyone in the car, like, you should thank her, and everybody was like, yeah, like, thank you, Zaz, and I was just like, that's cool.
I think they'd rather have somebody who wasn't
Who's
necessarily
responsible.
licensed than somebody drunk behind the
Yeah,
wheel.
like someone who's used to driving rather than like, it
Yeah.
wasn't like my fault that I got pulled over either, but it was just like, I appreciated that.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, somebody driving drunk is basically like driving without a license anyway. It's not
Yeah.
gonna help the
You're
situation.
gonna lose
Yeah, you're
it
right.
anyway.
Yeah.
It goes
It's kind
either
of
way
like
if you get
Child
caught.
driving. Yeah.
So I mean, everybody drive safely, drive soberly. What else we got? There's a lot of news going
Go
on.
for
this
it.
week.
Okay, well, we were talking about this earlier, we have an economic stimulus plan that Obama has been working on. It was passed actually on January 28th by House of Representatives, The bill was for $1,819 billion.
What is it?
1800. I mean, not sorry, my bad. 800, not
Yeah, I was gonna
1800.
say, that's a lot of money.
Well, I mean, 819 billion is still a lot. Of
Yeah,
money,
yeah,
right?
that is true.
But the interesting part was none of the Republicans actually voted for it. The voting was 24 to 188. So it was all Democrats against Republicans. That's
I
how
wonder if
that
it's
would
gonna be like that from now on. Now.
Yeah, but like I mean, the plan, the way a fiscal stimulus plan works is it gives back money like in tax rebates.
Yeah.
And most of the money doesn't end up actually going towards economic activity because when people get the tax money back, they'll want to spend it. Like they won't want to spend it. They'll try to pay off the debt that they have already incurred, or like save it up because we are in a recession. So it doesn't like technically like influence your economic activities.
I got you.
That's the way it works. But the way like they tried to get it to work was if you put back more money to the people, they'll spend more, which will like not make companies kind of lay off people, which will like in turn stimulate that economy.
It's like an economic lesson.
It's
like
kind of the
strategic
idea.
class.
But it was it was actually interesting though because you have two different policies, which is monetary policy and fiscal policy. And Obama's going for the fiscal policy, yet most of the economic have agreed since the New Deal that it doesn't have that big of an impact. It's not as effective as the monetary policy. So it's kind of interesting that he was going the other way.
Well, Obama's big thing is time for change. So,
Change.
I mean, it might
Change
actually
has
do the
come.
work.
What's the saying? What are they always saying? Yeah,
Change
has
has
come.
come.
Change
Yeah.
has come.
All right, go Obama.
This weekend.
Obama actually, he was pretty upset over the past weekend too. As we're talking about, they have all the bailout money going out. Most of the bailout money went into Wall Street, as we know, because
Yeah.
Wall Street actually almost crashed. But it says here that I saw that the CEOs from Wall Street actually took $18 billion in bonuses.
How could you? Like, how could someone do that when they
It's
see
like
that?
the economy's going down and like wow.
I'm glad that
It's
we
getting
bought the new
worse,
Yeah,
Ferrari.
it's just getting worse and worse, and they're taking bonuses.
Oh, $18 billion
It's like-
in bonuses. Why do you need $18
I
billion?
mean, you're gonna use up the bonus now, and like in a couple of years, if you keep doing this, like we're not gonna have any money left.
I know.
Like, think it through first.
People are getting laid off left and right, and they're getting bonuses.
Bonuses.
It's just,
I mean,
it's just crazy.
There's no way to justify that.
Yeah, like I
Unless they're passing that out. I mean, if you're gonna stand on Fifth Avenue, start passing out $100 bills, maybe
Yeah,
that might help
that'd
out.
be great.
but I don't think they're gonna be doing that anytime soon.
Probably not.
Yeah, like one of my friends, her boyfriend just got laid off from his job, and like I mean, they have a little kid and everything. Like you have to worry about
Yeah.
like your family, and like I don't know. I just don't see how people can like be selfish at a time like this when we're like at the greatest recession since the New Deal. Like that's a big deal
I
to
know,
us.
yeah.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But a lot's going on in New York City. A big thing going on in New York City right now is actually, if you guys are Yankee fans, Joe Torre actually came out with a new book.
Good book. Yeah.
And it's all over. I mean, he was
It's-
actually on Larry King Live the other day,
Oh,
but it's
I saw
causing
that,
a
yeah.
big stir in New York
It's
City.
all about like steroids, it's a bunch of
It's
stuff,
about steroids. The big thing is that Joe Torre was actually a conservative guy all throughout the Yankees. The time that he was with the Yankees, he never really spoke up a lot in the dugout. And in this book, he's actually bashing a lot of his former players. The main player is actually Alex Rodriguez. He called Alex Rodriguez obsessed with Derek Jeter. He called him a fraud. He said players called him a fraud. And he actually bashed the Wells. David Wells was a big part of the New York
Yeah.
Yankees. He said that David Wells used to just ruin his life.
Did he have a co-author? Because I feel like
He
whenever
did.
he did.
He did, but he actually defended himself. He said everything that he said within there was actually not something that was new. He said everything I said about the players knew. I spoke about the players with this. I spoke about this with the players while they were actually under my management.
So he flat out said.
So
okay.
he's
So
saying
it's like
I'm
his
not
back-
saying anything
Yeah.
new, but at the same
It's kind of like
time,
how
They're
nobody
gonna
is
start
Yeah,
reacting.
it's
They're
new
gonna
to
start
us.
using like
it's
the
it's a
public.
big deal, and it's becoming a bigger deal because now he's actually a coach for the managers, for the Dodgers. He's a manager for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
And now they're trying to say, should the Dodgers be worried?
Yeah.
They're
Is he
gonna
gonna
be,
go
like,
rat out these
walking
players
on,
too?
Yeah, they're gonna be walking up there.
Class.
Right.
Yeah, they're gonna be a little
Right.
nervous what to say or what to do
So,
around him.
um,
Like
And
write
it's
a
like
book
also
about
yeah,
that.
damaging
like-
to the morals of anyone who supports
It's
them.
true.
And it's like, I mean, even the fans gonna worry, like, what's gonna be
It's
next.
it's a real big deal. I mean, if I knew I was working for somebody, I wouldn't want anybody talking about me.
I'd be
right?
more careful, like, I mean.
I wouldn't have to worry about that. The Yankees actually taking a big initiative. They want to actually pass a plan where if you work for the New York Yankees, you're gonna have to sign a contract in which you can't ever speak again.
Speaking about the Yankees again.
If you leave the New York Yankees, you can't sell any books talking about what happened
after
in
this
house.
Joe Torre thing.
I'm surprised they
it's
didn't
a
have
big
this
thing.
before because the Yankees are so high profile that they like cover all their bases. no pun intended. But with that stuff, so I'm surprised they didn't have that before.
It's true.
Yeah, that is.
But it's like not shocking to me that they would do it now. Like, I mean, I feel like
Yeah,
it's not
they
gonna be
probably
the Yankees. I feel like it's probably going to end up being the Cavaliers.
Yeah.
I mean, the Dodgers might even do it now, just.
No, they
themselves.
probably will.
If I were the Dodgers, I'd.
Yeah, I'd be all.
Just
Especially
like, I
a
mean,
little
especially to have
nervous.
the same person as your coach, like. I would
Exactly.
think that's
Right. Yeah, this is all right here. Poor guy. I don't really know what to say about that. Everything going on. For Latinos out there, this week actually starts the Caribbean World Series, the Caribbean Baseball Classic. Goes on in Mexico this year, so Latinos try to get that on TV. That's something for them. For us, I would say. I'm actually a Latino also. There's a lot going on.
Also talking about international news, I have something interest. The Iraqis held the election on Saturday, and the voter turnout happened to be 7.5 million. Currently, there's 14 million and plus which are like actually registered to vote. The turnout happened to be the lowest in a very short history, obviously. Before that, the national elections, which was held in December 2005, was actually 76%, which is actually good for them. And the lowest after that was the provincial councils and the National Assembly election, which was 57%. So currently they're at the lowest with 51%. I mean, you still have like tanks like going on the
Yeah.
streets. Like, I mean, it's kind of like a fear that they still have.
Yeah,
I think it's a fear. I mean, I think maybe you could look at it. Maybe they're starting to feel a little more comfortable.
I mean,
When
it's
the
getting
turnout-
lower.
I know here a lot
I'd
of
be
people
so
don't
afraid
vote.
to just leave my house,
Yeah.
let alone vote.
That's true.
I mean, they also
Would take-
feel like their voting isn't going to change anything.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, they still have that going on inside them. Like, they have their internal issues, and they just feel like voting's not going to change anything.
But it would if they all got out there and voted.
It would make a difference, but it's just like, I mean, a lot of them blamed, the officials actually blamed it on the fact that when the Iraqis actually showed up to vote, they didn't know where they were supposed to technically vote, so they didn't check the information beforehand, and they blamed it on that.
That is a big problem about register. Like when I had to register, I had to get my absentee ballot. I had no idea
Yeah.
where I was registered to
Same
vote.
here.
I was registered to vote on Long Island because that's where I'm from. But I had no idea because when I registered
But
up
you're
here.
up here, exactly.
When I registered for Long
That's
Island,
what happened to me too.
so
I
I
was
checked,
registered for Queens.
and I did not even know how to check. And so I finally figured it out on the internet. I
You just
found
Google
it.
it.
No,
Try
I
Googling.
tried Googling. I looked
Really?
everywhere. I couldn't find it. I finally found it. Got my absentee ballot and voted.
Good. No, that's
I'm
good for
from
you.
New
Yeah.
Jersey, and I applied for an absentee ballot in May, and it was a week away from the election. I still didn't receive my ballot, and I spoke to them, and they said I applied too early. So I had to go back and reapply for an absentee ballot, as if there's like a time limit on
I
when
did
you
know
can
that's
vote.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
I barely got my ballot in on time, but
The other day.
just
Gotta
got it
vote.
in.
I mean, that's important. Everybody who's not
I mean, the
registered to
fact
vote,
that you
get out
went
and vote.
through all that to like actually, you know,
Just
get your
vote,
voice
yeah.
out and vote, that makes a huge difference.
And
That's
obviously, we
what's going to
saw
make a
it helped make a change this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a big deal. Actually, tying into the Middle East, I saw. I'm sure you guys saw it in the news all over. They actually had a shoe for the guy who threw the shoes at
At
George
Bush?
Bush. They made a monument in the Middle East for it. There was
No,
a
they
big shoe.
didn't.
I saw a photo of it. It was a
That is
big
awesome.
shoe.
They
that
don't like.
they
don't
made
like
a
push
big
that much
shoe.
of it.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
but the funny part was about it was up for about 3 days. It was like an iron shoe, a brass shoe, something
That's
to that effect.
really funny.
But they
That's
took it
what
down.
Bush is probably
They took
Bush
it down
probably
3 days
mad.
later.
Yeah, but like I mean, publicly he didn't show like that he was mad or anything. He just accepted
Did
it.
he get
was
arrested?
very,
Do you know if he got arrested?
George Bush.
No, the guy that just George
Oh,
Bush.
the guy that got, I think he did. I think he
I
went
think
to
he got
trial
up
over
with,
there.
like, yeah, slap
But
on
that
his-
was, of course, through the government. A lot of
Yeah.
people that live in the Middle East obviously weren't the biggest fans of George Bush, so he got a shoe for it.
I think it was Europe. They had the wax, you know, the Madame Tussauds Museum, the wax figures. And when President Obama was elected, they immediately made a wax figure and they put it out. And they actually took the President Bush wax figure and put it in the street, like
Are you
in
serious?
the street, and people were taking pictures of it. And they were saying how it's not very popular overseas.
So
So
they got rid of it?
they just put it in the street. Yeah, they put it outside. It was raining.
I thought you were gonna say like they took
Aw,
a shoe.
it's
Like,
raining too.
Oh, that'd be
like something
funny.
that'd be funny.
In a place where you didn't want to see it, right?
Be pretty
Oh,
shit.
man.
That'd be cool.
That's interesting. Maybe it's in somebody's living room right now. Who
Yeah, you
knows?
never know.
What happened to it?
Hey, maybe we'll be on eBay next time.
That right next to the toilet
Right next to the
Shea
toilet
Stadium.
station.
Right next to those toilet seats reserved up. Do you guys have anything else?
Yeah, and in local news, Albany woman was found guilty for killing her husband. So a jury has found that an Albany woman guilty for murdering her estranged husband. back in 2007, the 32-year-old has been accused for luring Tyrone McCoy, to the Ezra apartment complex on the city's South Pearl Street, where he was shot by boyfriend Jamar Johnson. Johnson has already been convicted in the case, but McCoy will be sentenced in March, and she faces up to 25 years to life in prison. I know. So, Albany.
It's that cliche saying, you can't pay the time, don't do the crime.
Yeah, right?
She got caught.
She got caught, and that's. I mean, you can be bound to get caught. You're luring. I mean, obviously cheating, but you're luring your husband. I think your boyfriend shot him. Like, of course you're gonna get caught.
I actually heard a similar case from one of my friends who actually went to, this was like 2-3 weeks ago, who went to high school with one of his old friends, and he found out that his girlfriend told him to shoot his dad, so they both ended up going and shooting him. And I forget what gun they used, but what ended up happening was they did everything that you could possibly do, like, after killing someone. In the, like, history books.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a history books.
Like, they have to be.
Like cleaning it up, or
Like cleaning up, like they tried to get rid of the body, so they I think first tried to like chop it off, and then that didn't work so well, so they tried to like get it together and dump it in the river, except like that didn't go over so well. They actually ended up getting caught because they ended up going into a motel, and they figured they would lie low, except they were like doing something with the gun and ended up shooting a hole through the mattress, and got like everyone who worked at the hotel to come take a look at the mattress because they wanted it replaced, and they were like, there's something wrong with this, there's like a blood hole in the mattress. So they called the cops, and they finally put it together with like the weapons and the body and everything.
Ballistics
But like
and stuff.
they
That's
honestly
crazy.
did like everything that's wrong, like you could possibly do wrong to get caught.
That sounds like almost something that's gonna go to a made-for-TV.
Yeah.
It sounds
Yeah,
like
it was
a
honestly
really
just
bad
like
movie.
I was baffled. I was like, wow, like why would you?
Look, this story reminds me of, like, you know, the Amy Fisher story on Long Island.
Yeah.
When that's what it reminded me so much of. And also, it's really funny. Amy Fisher lives right next door. Well, Amy Fisher's parents, but Amy Fisher lived with them. So one of my good friends, Ian, in like a gated community and stuff. So never would go over his house. Like, it was Amy Fisher's house. It was kind of crazy.
I wouldn't go to his place.
Yeah.
I just gotta I'll keep my space.
Yeah. Keep my space with.
The funny part is, you watch TV and they always get away with it. And I think for some weird reason, people get it in their mind that they could just do like the movies and the TV and get away with these crazy things.
Yeah, but it's just television.
It's
Like,
just
it's
not gonna
scripted.
happen.
That doesn't happen.
It
But I
doesn't.
feel like also like TV, like you know how it's fictional, like they give you ideas of how to like do it too. Like if you keep
On,
watching
like,
like,
CSI and stuff.
anything like
Yeah.
that, it'll give you plans on like how you can actually do it. It's kind of freaky, like you keep thinking about it. It's just like
There was a
here's something
movie
like
when we were like in high school, Sugar and Spice, and they wanted to know like how to do a bank robbery, so they watched all the videos of bank
Is that
robbery.
what the cheerleaders?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
cheerleaders,
right.
and they actually did it. But obviously it's a movie,
With the
but
pets,
there's enough
right?
movies out there that you could do it. So.
Yeah, like I mean, they think through the plots and figure out the best way for the people to get through to like if you look at Invisible Man, like another bad
Yeah.
job. But like that was an amazing movie. But it gives you ideas on how to actually do it.
Yeah.
Which is just like a little
Which is
scary.
pretty scary.
Yeah, which is
It
Because
really
you don't want
scary.
people knowing how to
It-
rob a store or
It's
anything.
true.
Or like even kill you and get away with it.
Yeah.
It's amazing, like you see in school now. You know how many channels? Or I've watched TV in school in my classroom to learn. TV is everywhere. I used to watch Family Guy in social studies because they had things about social studies, history, and my teacher would actually show Family Guy, and it kept us stimulated.
What school did you go to?
Yeah,
I don't
I went
know
to
your
school- I went to school on Long
Yeah.
Island actually.
On Long Island, yeah.
At Florida Park Memorial High School. But in science classes, I see a lot of times they show episodes of CSI to show how they use things. But
Yeah, like
you're
I
learning
had a
from TV
criminal
now.
law class in high school too, and they used to show like CSI, like Law and Order and stuff like that, and you like, you know,
Good way of teaching, yeah.
to show you how to do it like as an expert to like look at the scene, but it also makes you like think about how you know someone can actually commit the crime too.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you know two sides of the coin, like both bad and good going on together.
Looks like we might have to wrap it up soon, though. But we just want to leave by saying that Big Purple Growl is this Saturday. So the girls' game is at 4:30. The boys' game's at 7. And the girls are playing the Binghamton Bearcats, and the boys are playing the Vermont Catamounts. So it should be a good game. The
So
game's at
everybody-
the arena.
everybody get
Big
out there.
Purple
support.
Growl Saturday.
Yeah, but
Get
it's
your
cold. You can do
purple
it.
and gold
And
on.
it's inside.
Yes.
Yeah, but you have to wait for tickets outside.
That's true. That is true. Bundle up.
Just bundle up.
Now, do we know yet if they're gonna have a price for the tickets this year?
We were trying to, I don't remember. I mean, we'll report back to you guys about that. It says on the website reserve tickets are $10. You can get them Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 over by. And does that period, like, you know, the ticket box it off? Ticket box
So you
box?
could get them this week.
Yeah.
But I remember
But-
1 week it's big.
Yeah, I think those are just for general admission for, like, people that are not students. So I think if you are a student,
I think you just need your student card.
Yeah,
But
and then it's
last
free.
year, freshman year, I had to actually wait on the line for like 2
But
hours.
you
Yeah,
actually have
it's
to
always
pay
like
too,
that,
because
yeah.
I think for Park Fest you have to pay this year. Because my friend was saying something about that. Like from now on, like I think they're making it be like $5 or $10. So I mean, I would check it out.
we are in a recession. I mean, that's what happens.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
That's what we have for you guys today. So I'm John Diaz.
I'm Amanda Bascar.
I'm Sasson.
I'm Nelson Eusebio, and wake up, Albany.
I'll see you tomorrow.